The drinking and worshipping of wines goes back longer than written history. It emerges with civilization itself from the east. It was in fact the Romans who brought first vines to France at about 500 BC and planted them in Bordeaux at approximately 50 AD. There has been much speculation about the quality of Roman wine, which is quite well documented. It apparently had extraordinary powers of keeping, which in itself suggests that even then it was good. The great vintages were discussed and even drunk for longer than seems possible. There are records of a wine made in 121 BC being drunk when it was 125 years old. The most consequential move in history was when the Romans took their vines to Gaul. By the time they withdrew in the 5th century from what is now France, they had laid the foundations for almost all the greatest vineyards of the modern world. Unlike the Greeks, the Romans were not limited to earthenware and amphoras to store their wines in. They had barrels not dissimilar to modern barrels and bottles not dissimilar to modern bottles. Shakespeare was also a great lover of wine and left some of the most descriptive tasting notes of the 17th century. Late in the 17th century, the cork was discovered. Bit by bit, it became clear that wine kept in a tightly corked bottle lasted much longer than wine kept in a barrel as it had been, which was likely to go off at any time after the barrel was broached. It was also discovered that wines kept in different sized bottles also aged in a different way, acquiring what is known as a bouquet. The wine trade was booming, and Bordeaux wines were being exported all over the world. In fact, ships were measured by the number of tons of wine they could carry. In 1855, Napoleon III effectively started the Fine Wine Index when he classified the wines in Bordeaux from 1 to 5. He based his decisions on the quality and prices realized of each chateau wines over the previous 100 years or so. Apart from one change in 1979, when Chateau Mouton Rothschild was promoted from a second growth to a first growth wine, nothing has ever changed. In fact, the laws he put in place in 1855 are vigorously upheld today and controlled by the Institut des Appellations d'Origine and upheld by EU directives.